Hi everyone, it's Jen from Mind's Eye, and we're going to do the Clearview weekly report. It's a psychic medium reading about universal matters. So there's a lot to talk about this show. It really goes to it and it goes for it, and that is the conversation at the table on a lot of things that are coming through in the community. And when we actually say it and we actually go for it, like maybe it's paying a bill, or maybe it is like getting the car fixed, or maybe mowing the lawn, something so simple, it really becomes mundane, and it actually goes to like foregoing your plan where you can't actually get anything done. It really is like this type of trolling of energy that we just can't keep like out of it whatsoever. So when we actually go through this and we actually see it like as an outward must, you have to say like something is like a prophetic, like unknown renown. So let's actually look at the cards and see what's going on, because there's a lot of unresolved conflict. And it's to the point where we have to say, like, is it our rights or anything like that? At least here in Connecticut, we had another law passed about gun safety. So let's talk about gun safety and when it actually comes to it, when it is the Second Amendment. So, as you know, the Second Amendment, it is pro 2A. Pro 2A means that you can't go to it or for it, but you must be it. So, have you stung it out? That's what law enforcement is going to say. Have you seek like legal action? You can't just like bring a gun to the table, but also too, you have to say. Some people can just know it just right off the bat. So when you see it and you go, it seems to be like everything that you must know. It really is true. It goes down to like, are they of clear sound mind? Can they see clearly? Can they hear clearly? Can they actually, some people have said, can they taste it? Like, what is this feeling upon them and within them that makes them just go, done? So where is the precedent also? It looks like grandiose thoughts, and it really looks like stone cold of like therapy to a point of like a grace and a tenure. But basically, I need to know, like, there's like no offerings. They look like they just popped off. There's a lot more to these stories. There really, really is. So, looking at Connecticut the way that we are, you basically got to have three locks. And then the way that it really is true about this new law out here, you really have to go for it. You really have to like do de-escalation techniques as much as possible before you actually go for your pistol, which is really against our rights. When you actually go down to rights, to constitutional rights, like, people can feel when their rights are impeded. Where is the finality of relief? Where is this? This is the Ten of Swords. It's asking when is everything going to ease up on things. It really is hard. It is a lesser of a difficulty. That's the Five of Wands. You can see that, and it really is hurt. There's something that's out there that really, really hurts. And when you look at this, and you're looking at legal and judicial, it's showing. It's looking at contracts. It's looking at contractual matters. It's looking at everything that goes for it, and like in accordance to talking about Pro 2A and all of it, to pistol permits, firearm rights, everything. You have to look at all options. Like, does it fit the bill? When you see it and it says, that sounds heinous. But in reality, when you actually look at legislature out here, nobody is allowed to do a hanging. But when you actually address it to the table, you have to say, what is a form of a hanging? Like making somebody wait against their free will rights, and actually making it like extending it out with like motive and intent to delay. So when I say this, it's a working of oneself to one's magic that really is causing this delay to the relay, to the race, to the meal times. And when I say, why is it meal times? It has to do with money. And it really is money. But then when they say all of a sudden, like, well, it's about tariffs, they're like, well, how is it about tariffs? I mean, I just walked into the town hall to pay my taxes, and all of a sudden it's thrown upon me. And then you see this Nine of Swords, you see how this woman is, and it really, really is hurt. What is this continuance on? Because we're really in August and really going about. There's something about judgment and judicial to the actual senses of judgment. Were they actually seeing clearly in like 1992 and 1999? That is the conversations, at least out here. What I'm seeing as a psychic is also out in Arkansas, it's out in Nebraska, and it's really is like, are they foregoing their own? Did they complete everything that they were supposed to? When I look at this and I go, the Three of Pentacles, there is teamwork. There's some sort of teamwork out there on getting it good, but there's no logic to it. This woman right here, the way she sits normally, sits stoically, can sit there like really, really hard, really, really hard. So when you see it and they go, everything makes sense, it's clear. But when there's no logic, it is a wishes fulfilled. How can someone sitting there with no logic have like wishes fulfilled? They're pretty good at it. They're pretty good. That's that Queen of Wands. It's mastery and strength. So let's look a little bit further. What else do we need to know on, the catch up to, the continuance for the week? There's something still about like no skill. It has to do with a job. It has to do with judicial. It has to do with court. It has to do with legal. I don't really see anything with military, but it's unfulfilled wishes. This is what we need to know in our small town communities to our large cities. When I see this card and you see this man and he's sitting well, it's about balance. Temperance is the balance card. So when I'm looking at balance and I'm looking at maybe money, I'm actually looking like at air in the tires. I'm actually looking at like attunements, alignments, front ends, anything like that. And when you look at it, it comes in swiftly. This is all this card is alluding to, the Seven of Swords. When I see this, it really is not as bad when it comes to like vehicles or maybe like a lemon law. But basically, you got to use everything about yourself all of a sudden when it comes to something so simple. That is where this card comes in. It really shows like the Queen of Pentacles in reverse shows that you just can't sit alone. To where like sitting alone, to trying to get a loan, a bank loan, to actually like it feels like there's a curse following you. But we just had all these things come in. Like they had the Lionsgate portal. We just had the full moon. That's all you need to know. We had the full moon. When you see the Emperor and it's someone who is sitting pretty solid, and they're like, how are you going on vacations? Like, how are you doing all these things? When we have like tents and it looks like gypsies moved into New York City. Where is this going? When you see this and you see the Three of Cups, you're like, there was some sort of like getting together and some sort of knowing that it was going to happen. But I mean, we've been saying it for a really long time. Nobody believed it. I'm like, no, I don't think that it is. This is the type of conversations that I can hear that it really is not what they were talking about the storm is upon us. And then they have other things going on. There is this type of journey. There is this type of like going the way like the energy pushes the full card, and it really is like new beginning. But all of a sudden it goes, how well did you secure that job? When you look at this and you see the High Priestess in reverse, it's like a type of hidden motives. So again, the energy of this is the star. It really is, is it the star of the show? Is it like anything of that nature? Here we go. Runes. What else do we need to know? There's something about like a collecting and a getting together. There's something about like it came in really hard. Like something in these areas of those who were highly impeded, it came in hard. And when you look at this and he goes, well, they're here. They're still with us. We're really happy about this. Normal after disasters or anything type of impedance. But when you look at it and you see this, like there's like these type of like people who want to protect or like they call them warriors or anything like that. You go, Look at this. Look at this. Why is there like lake effect snow talk already? It comes in early. But instinctively, you're like, I'm just like, how usually GI symptoms, as being a former resident nurse, it usually comes up with like haywire, like anxiety to all these things, all the way down, all the way down. So when I see it, havoc, when you go, like something is like new as far as health, and then it goes like everything is sunshine and solid and everything is fine, and then you go, it really is a type of turnaround. So why am I turning my wheel of my car like this? Because that's counterintuitive. And then all of a sudden it feels like the trolling comes in, and then all of a sudden like everything is like it's not what the way it's supposed to be. So let's look a little bit deeper. What else do we need to know about the Clearview talk? So we have our president meeting with Russia. We have President Zelensky talking about 22,000 children that need to be released. We're talking about more issues with Gaza. We're talking about an increase of crime where they had to have federal agents take over DC police. So let's look at the Literary Witches article. What is going to come about it, and what is going to come to, like what they say, a show about it? Has to do with belonging, has to do with something of like old childhood wounds. It's something in the community. It's talking about something that we've never healed from. Something about knowing bravery. It's happened before. It's what haunts us. Ancient past lore. I see a gold coin, like a Smokatoka Loke has happened. It has to do with like earthbound spirits, ancestors. And the way I'm looking, I'm like, I can actually see it. Like, see it. When you see this and you see fate, like it happened so fast. Whatever had come forward to actually like help the situation, it like ended really bad. When you see this, when you open up books, like you're starting to study certain things, it becomes like an untamed venture. And when you see this, it is like an outward look of appearance. But when you see it also too, it's like a sense of belonging. So, as we talk about it, when it comes to the Freedom of Information Act, and it talks about anything that is out there, I always had recommended that, like, as long as it's on TV, as long as it's on Netflix, as long as it's being talked a little bit about in the community, you can find it in the library, you can go to the courthouse and research or any type of that and learn. It's fine. It usually is fine. Anything else is taboo, and you better be careful about it. So when you look at it, and it has to do with like family, and it has to do with something that is like a deceitful, dishonest. And when you see this, it's like a known plan about health. Something about like it feels like it runs in the family, this certain type of health illness, and it's like a generational curse. So that is like, where did that actually come from? Where we're talking about children, we're talking about meetings, and then we're talking about all these other things happening. Like, how does that become a generational curse? Here we go. So let's look at the Akashic Tarot. Okay, so right here, when you see this, you see the karmic trench, and then you see the lightning bolt. It really comes to pass really hard, and it really is like a truffle to a trickle to a ripple effect. As we're preparing for like cold and flu season. I mean, it's already known when you look at this, and it's the Uriel and the Sphinx. I mean, you went into maybe the grocery store, and it happened. But everyone gets it. But not everyone gets it. I swear to God, it runs in the family, especially in certain times of year. When you look at this is the only card that really wants to come out because I can feel it in my hands, that the light of the world literally shows you that it lights up, L-I-T-E, lights. Here we go. Let's look at the oracle cards. Lenormand, what do we need to know about this? Still looking at big universal matters. So I'm seeing Ireland. I'm seeing like a dictation on that meeting. Here it is. I'm hearing Starling. I'm hearing Starlink. I'm seeing this, the way that the birds flew in, which was pretty heinous when it happened. I'm seeing like letters and invitations. And when I see this, I go, you can't even believe how like snow is already coming in some areas. It's August. Seems derogatory. So when I look at it and I go, it really comes in and it goes right through it. You can't even believe how hard it is to actually go to the library. Poker cards. There it is. This one was a little bit harder. 10 of diamonds. It is a cutout. It's the type of cutout that you just can't even understand how good it feels. So I'm like, wait a minute. Like they were talking about the diamond, the 2 carats, and then the eyes and the ears and the nose to the rabbit. Like who was talking about this? You couldn't even see it come through. So when I look at it and I say the 8 of hearts, really is a type of club that nobody was invited to. Then that's all you need to know. So let's look at one more. Right here, poplar wood. They were getting, like, they got into the car, they had a party, they were having fun, everything was happy. And I'm seeing Tesla, I'm seeing that car accident. When I'm seeing this, it was really like, why am I saying Princess Diana? So when I'm seeing this and I'm seeing the tunnel and I'm seeing Princess Diana, this is heinous the way it's like diving down right to the community table. That you go, you can't even believe how hard it was. And it's something about a baby being born. Where you look at it and it goes instinct, like instinctively, like women go like haywire at certain points in their pregnancy. And they get highly defensive. This is what this room means. And you go, where is this like luck to the counterintuitive turn of luck? Trying to like reel them back to where they need to be at the end. And you go, where is this? Where is this? When I see night, I see like butterflies, I see light bright, and I see like one of those cars and like one of the kids. You can't even believe it. And you see it and you go about, this is what Rideau means. And then you see the lake. And then you go, where did that come from? It was literally like a trellis, like a marriage. And it had to do about wealth. Something about 4. And that's all you need to know. So boiling it right back to how that's happening, that conversation in DC with Tesla and the car accident, and then Elon Musk's employees popping off, and then you have the meetings in Alaska, and then the 22,000 kids, and then we're all of a sudden like Princess Diana wants to come out and talk in mediumship. You can't even believe what's going on. There we go. Lastly, boiling it right back. What else do we need to know for the rest of the week that it pertains to us? There we go. There's a bunch that fell out. Okay, first, you're not going to get the relief that you need right away. Right away. You are going to get some wishes this week. You're going to get some rest. It's not going to be the best in the paperwork that is presented. When you see this and you go, you really got to work at it. This is the 6 of Swords in reverse. When you see that it's like really skilled, sit with people who you like are feeling are helping you at that moment. And when you see it and say, just trust it, there is like a point of where you have to say, we are contented for the week. Contented. Where we can go into the next week or maybe 1 to 3 weeks and say, all right, we're back again to start working on this. And that's all you really need to know. So with that being said, any questions or concerns, leave a like, a comment, a share, an email. It's greatly appreciated. Patreon is for, oh Lordy, calming myself down a little bit. It goes to classes for Patreon and also private readings if you need one. And with that being said, we will talk to you soon, and we'll talk to you next week for the Clearview weekly report.